thank you first for sitting down with us here, UMDBulldogs.com, for a little preseason preview here. Um, First of all, how was the summer treating you, and before you get back into the grind here?
Summer was very good, lots of miles on the road, some weddings with former players, and now it's ramping up for the season.
Let's get into that. Kind of the end of last season. Um, Obviously, last season, I don't think I'm stepping on your toes here to say it didn't kind of live up to the expectations you guys thought you had at the beginning of the year. What was kind of the message you left to the team, both the rather large senior class that you said goodbye to, and then as well as the returners at the end of last season?
I'm glad you brought it up because then I didn't have to, and I don't have to say it anymore. But obviously, felt that we came up short last year in a variety of ways. However, the message in the end is always about the experience on balance for every student athlete that comes through our soccer program, and that message to me is typically very positive, in that they have fulfilled expectations. As a player and a person, they've been quite successful in their pursuit of earning a degree from UMD, and they've competed very well. And that was the message that I gave to those players that had departed. I know they felt disappointed in their season, but they also felt great satisfaction in their careers. And that's my aim as a coach here, is to try and make sure that our players are getting a proper and memorable experience. As far as the new players, returning players coming back, it's all about opportunity. It's their opportunity now to shine, their opportunity to fill more important roles on the team, their opportunity to be leaders, to be impactful for the program, and now it's their path to widen, so to speak. So with that then comes some not only hopes but expectations in their preparation, and that occurred in the springtime, of course, and hopefully over the summer. And when they return this week, they'll feel that they have a body of work as a foundation that will be real meaningful going forward.
Well, let's talk about the senior class a little bit. You got two official seniors on the roster, but how do you see them kind of stepping into the role of leaders as players that maybe don't have as much experience as what you would have had in the past?
Well, I'm assuming you're talking about McMahon and Neschheim as the two assumed completing their eligibility. Those two have simply got there quicker, and their leadership will be important from that perspective that they are the oldest players on the team, and that has to mean something in terms of the dynamic of the team, the structure of the team. Their two classmates, Sorensen and Peterson, are obviously going to strengthen that leadership group at the top. Our team captain this year, Katie Peterson, embodies everything that you want from a leader. She is unique in that she's had very little game time in our program. Of course, two season-ending injuries in consecutive seasons has had a great part in that. But she has won the hearts of her team through her diligence in recovery. She has gained the respect of her team in the way that she approaches everyday student-athlete life, and how she treats her teammates. So she is a tremendous appointee as captain of our team, and I know that she'll engage her classmates in a leadership fashion.
Well, by my count, in the junior and sophomore classes, you have about 11 returners between those. Who do you see in those classes really stepping up to provide that offensive boost you need, and also on the defensive end?
Sure. Well, I think that to place expectation would be quite premature given that the amount of time that they've played to now, up till this point, has been probably not deserving of being tabbed as someone leading. However, you have to look towards your more experienced players. Among those senior ranks, Leah needs to be someone who is on the field and helping us, productively on the attacking side of the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if Katie gets herself involved. She'll be on a lot of our set pieces. Kaylee Biat, really, we're looking for her to probably break out this year. I don't want to put that pressure on her. I think we have other players just as capable, but she does have the potential to do that. Those are a couple names that I would not be surprised. Gansky is probably our highest point getter returning. So, she's going to be in the mix because her playing time is going to be as great as anyone else's on the team. So those are players that we need to see involved for us.
Let's take a minute to talk about the first-year players.
Sure.
Obviously have a lot of them on the roster.
Yeah.
I think 15 at my count.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you see making an immediate impact on that
Um,
front?
I don't. I'm very non-committal in that way. I'm typically pretty tight-lipped about first-year players. It's simply because I really believe that anything can happen when they arrive here. What I will mention is someone like Marissa Gansky came here as a walk-on, and she's done nothing but play like a player that's been on full scholarship, ever since. I think we're going to have our share of stories with this class, given the number. We have everything in this class, from the end line and the goal right on out, to the front line and players that have had a history of, scoring goals. We have players that have been on significant teams, state cup winners, ECNL teams. So there's a very good group of incoming players, and I think it's going to be a collective, what I want to say, a collective effort in terms of what our first year players are going to be doing in terms of contribution.
In the first year players, I know you have a number of, I think people would be interested, you have a number of local kids from Duluth and Hermantown, surrounding area.
First of all, Lila Abukadere, sorry. She's a Hermantown grad. Our second one in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And that's exciting for us, and exciting for Hermantown, of course. Looking for her to get to college level speed right away. That's something she brings. Mm-hmm. The other two are from Duluth East. I think they represent as many players from Duluth East in the history of our program as we have years. Mm-hmm. I think we're at about 22 Duluth East high school players in our program in our history. Anna Rousey is a very versatile player. She can play on the front line. She's comfortable on the front line. She has proven to be a midfielder. She has the physical assets to, probably be a defender in college. But I see good potential for her because of her versatility. And then Ronnie Rudolph is a goalkeeper from Duluth East as well. Though we do have 4 goalkeepers, Ronnie was the first one of this group to commit. I really like what she does in terms of managing a back line and managing a game. That really applies to the college game, so hopefully her transition will be quick.
Should be pretty exciting. Let's dive right into the schedule. Obviously, your non-conference foes. You have a tough schedule lined up. You're just opening the season against a team that was just ranked the number 7 team in the country in Central Missouri. Yeah. Also, the annual meeting with Northern Michigan. That'll be at home, as well as meeting up with Michigan Tech how do you see UMD faring in that tough non-conference slate?
We've always taken a more difficult approach to our pre-conference games, albeit looking for a bit of convenience now with the Michigan teams. They are count as regional opponents, I'm sorry. I expect to give a lot of opportunity to many players in our preseason games. I just want our players to, get a taste, compete, feel good about their performance. Central Missouri is going to be difficult in that, the history is there, the projected, success is there.
Mm-hmm.
We played them at their place last year. They're a very difficult opponent. We're playing at a place that's familiar to us, but not to them. First game of the year. I think it'll be a game that we will have an opportunity to, get a result in. I do feel that. So, looking forward to that. Of course, the first game's always something to look forward to. The Michigan teams, we played Northern Michigan, I think, every year of their program. We started a bit earlier. And Tech now, this will be our second meeting with them since their first year. And so I'm looking forward to that as well. It's the first time they've visited here. So I always enjoy those games, kind of neighbors and out of conference rivals, you might call it that. But enjoy traveling to those places as well. So my hope is that we can keep those games, forever, as long as we possibly can.
Obviously, the conference schedule continues to be a tough one in the NSIC. You got some nationally ranked rivals, Minnesota State. Obviously, I think what we've said is UMD's biggest rival, Winona State. What do you see? How do you see this team bouncing back from last year, and a team that lost a lot of tight games, and how do you see the team kind of taking that experience and going forward?
Yeah, I don't think last year's experience is going to play a role in this year's experience at all. Maybe some individual players playing with more confidence, or I don't think it will have an impact, whether it's players or staff. We take each year unto itself and prepare, for each year as it is a one-time, shot. And we'll always put our best foot forward. We're always going to compete and give our best effort. That's rarely not going to happen. And we like to think that we're a top half, program. That's the way that the record would show to this point. The NSIC is a very fast-growing conference competitively. The coaching staffs prove that. There are some excellent coaches in our conference. Institutions are putting more resources towards their soccer programs. You're starting to see that in the productivity of our conference on a national level, regional for sure. And it's, we've, in the last 3 or 4 years, we've lost 2 of our coaches to Division I programs. We've hired coaches in our league from Division I programs. So the profile is definitely greater for soccer in our conference. That's competitive for us, being that we have been, traditionally a top half team. Maybe someone who thinks they should be in the top 4, pretty consistent basis. So that's a challenge for us, and that's something we're going to set out to do, is make sure that we are where we are projected to be, or where we're supposed to be by our standard. And that's always the the excitement and challenge of each season renewing and us being able to reset our goals.
All right, well, I think that's all I have for you. Thanks for sitting down with us, and good luck on the season.
Yep, you're welcome. Thanks.